Well, on to our next report. Some individuals are bracing the odds in standing up for indigent people in the society by donating borehole water and providing free education to some communities in Lagos and Ogun states. Sarah Ayuko met with these courageous and determined individuals and files this report.
Meet Naomi Alabi, Victor Basola, and Becky Oshuniyi. 3 individuals united in caring for indigent people in a society. Irrespective of their age and profession, they decided to create desired changes needed to make Nigeria a better country. It remains a challenge in Nigeria. More than 86% of Nigerians lack access to safely managed drinking water sources. Although about 70% of Nigerians are reported to have access to basic water, more than half of these sources are contaminated, leading to transmission of diseases and parasites. Limited access to clean water is one of the major problems residents of Lagos face. For residents of Jakonde Estate in Lekki, their location makes water gold, a luxury for middle-income earners.
Lack of water here. Even to fresh water, man, we suffer to see water here. We buy water and fetch well. The well is not clean. Sometimes we even see the water to buy, we sweat before we see water.
To fill a 1,000-litre tank like this one, you need about 4,000 naira, which is about $9.63. For those who cannot afford it, they wait for the skies to pour water. With smiles on their faces, they line up buckets, kegs, and any container to fetch water. Like every woman in Rasiat and Yolan's compound, it's time to receive nature's gift, albeit unsafe.
We doesn't need any water for here. We used to come outside the rain on midnight, whether 2 or 3, and fresh water. Anytime rain is falling, we are come outside and fresh rainwater. But now we are happy. Auntie Naomi bought us lovely water. So we are really appreciate.
So now you're not going to fetch your water?
I will not buy water, and I will not come outside and get sick for inside rain and buy water again. Because now I'm going to use that water and wash my clothes and bath.
Keg be 150. So okay, for tank now, before you buy the tank water self, you'll be pushing it up and down before they bring the water. So to get water for Jakonde, no day easy.
33-year-old Naomi Alabi hopes to change the narrative and help women have access to clean and safe water.
Personally, I grew up in Kano. Growing up, I had to travel miles to get water. While currently I don't deal with clean water problems, I wanted to get into the water business, and I didn't want to do so without bringing awareness and attention to people who currently, for whom clean water is a luxury.
Naomi is a US-based entrepreneur who decided to provide clean water for impoverished communities like this.
Seems like something little, it's just water now, but if you calculate the amount of time that you have to advocate, especially the women, the responsibility usually falls on the women, the mothers that have to, if you can afford it, there's someone that comes in this community, they charge 150 naira per bucket. Okay, 150 naira per bucket. So for someone that can't afford it, they have to be managing. You can imagine the diseases that's associated with that.
This Jakonde borehole is the first of 10 that she plans to donate through a Clean Water is a Human Rights campaign by the end of the year.
For those of us who are lucky enough where clean water is not a problem, we should look at what we can do. I did this by myself. We currently are working with the CDA in hopes of helping out future and more communities, but you don't have to be a big government agency or a nonprofit to help.
For a group of young volunteers in Lagos led by Becky Oshuniyi, distance is not a problem.
In this area, we have 14 nursery and primary schools that we support, comprising of about 4,000 children from nursery to primary 6. And majorly the work that we do here has to do with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and education that is inclusive, education that is integrating, education that is balanced. And the challenge that we see is because it's so far away from even Victoria Island, because it has a peculiar name. It's called the Lekki Town. So when you say I'm going to Lekki Town, and then you are doing 2.5 hours from Victoria Island, people don't want to come here.
Hidden behind the splendor of luxurious houses, in Lekki are dilapidated schools being destroyed by the sea. For parts of the school that the sea can't destroy, vandals from the community take the school essentials, depriving the children from enjoying education. This is the Roman Catholic Mission School in Lekki. Upon entry, what confronts a visitor are boring classrooms with no color, ceiling, doors and furniture. But that is gradually changing.
This is a sample of what the nursery classes look like bare walls and no seats, and then vandalized roof for young children, and a broken door, and otherwise nothing else. Times table written on the wall. So we did something amazing. Come with us to the next class and see what we did. The nursery school has no color at all. We had to introduce colorful table and chairs in the primary colors to help them remember and to know that every color comes off of these colors, and then to redesign the artwork on the wall of the classroom, introduce teaching materials, and then we have now started to educate their teachers, teaching them how to teach children to read with the phonics style.
Nigeria still has the highest number of out-of-school children in Africa. This is a form of abuse and an infringement on the rights of the child. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, 18.5 million children are out of school, a figure that has risen since 2001 due to various factors.
After the refurbishing of the classrooms, the population increased. We are told that before, the imam has to go to the homes to plead with the parents to allow the children come to school. But once the classroom was refurbished, the classroom doubled by 200%. Like the class is totally full. And with the playground behind me, there's a lot of attendance in school. Why a playground? Why do you donate a playground? Why don't you donate food and clothing? So we found out that at this age, there is the psychomotor, the affective and the cognitive domain that's been developed. And for some of them, they've never seen these things before.
The smile on the faces of the children says it all. Our third change maker is Victor Basola. He is the founder of the Kingston Nursery and Primary School in Akute, Ogun State. Bashola is striving to reduce the number of out-of-school children on the streets. The Kingston Nursery and Primary School is run by him and his wife. The couple withdrew their children from private schools they were attended to become pupils at the free school.
My upbringing was a little rough. My dad tried his best to give us the best of education, but once in a while there may be times when we may have to be chased out of school. Momentary shame as a child did not leave my spirit, and I made up my mind that one day when I have the opportunity, I'll be able to help 1 or 2 children. I did not really plan to go all scale out. Myself and my wife, who happened to be the proprietress, decided to start the school. We were planning to start a normal business private school until when we had gotten the facility and in the place of prayer, I got an inspiration in my spirit to start a free school. I believe that years later, when these children become great in life, their success will be my joy.
It is a 100% free school for indigent children. Pupils here have access to free books, uniforms, and 1 meal per day.
Grace of God, I have 2 kids here. The 2 are girls. And the reason why I brought them in is because of some financial advices we're having in the home. I was almost spending about close to 90-something thousand.
Every term?
Yeah, every term. So we're not living in this area, so we're living outside Akute. But when I came, the situation was a bit rough. So we're thinking, how do we get that kind of huge amount of money? So for one term they were at home, I am 100% relaxed.
The school presently caters for 35 pupils. Though the couple would like to bring in more children, limited furniture and space frustrate that dream. For 10 months, Bashola has been able to pay salaries to the teachers, but the recurring expenses are becoming uphill tasks.
When we started, we had to ensure that we are paying the highest salary in this environment. I didn't want a situation where we attract low-quality teachers. The moment we attract low-quality teachers, we will have the project will be messed up. So we had to ensure that we are one of the highest-paying schools in this environment. In fact, in this environment, they pay BSc 22,000, they pay NC 18,000, they pay SSC 12,000. Here we pay SSC 20,000 and we pay NC 30,000. We ensure that we are paying the government minimum wage so as to attract the best of hands. So with the challenge we are having is salaries, challenge we are having is exercise books, textbooks. If we get publishers that can help us donate textbooks to the school, it will help to alleviate a lot of stress. The uniforms, you'll notice that 90% of the students have uniforms, but some that just joined recently don't have uniforms. The rent for the facility is 1.5 million. That's one of the major headaches. In fact, they told me last week that it has expired. The landlord, whether you are doing free school or not, you have to pay the landlord.
There are about 12 staff right now, and we need a lot of things. We need furnitures. I would rather prefer a bigger place, a bigger space. As much as 2-story, I would love it, because when I go out right now, when we go outside, you find out that children are roaming around the streets, and if you call them, they were in school 2 years ago, they were in school last year, but their parents can afford it.
Bashola believes that $1 daily will go a long way in keeping a child happy and ensuring proper assimilation of knowledge.
Basic primary education should be free across board, not just in the government school, but in private schools. Private schools should be funded, should be supported by the government to ensure that primary 1 to 6 is totally free.
Sarah Ayeku, TVC News.